Hey guys, Dave again from JDH Reptiles. Today we're going to clean a couple boxes and we're going to talk about Reptile Prime's coconut fiber substrate. Now this is not the fine stuff. I did get the large chunk as well. Told you guys I would, and we'll do a review on this today as well. I'll be honest with you, I've already been using this for about a week. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I've been sick for a week, so unfortunately I couldn't update you guys. But we're going to do that today. So let's go ahead and we'll get some snakes moved out, clean up their enclosure, and get this stuff in, and I'll show you guys about it. Snakes are moved out, and now I'll tell you guys something. Everybody says when your snakes eat, you should let them be for 2 days, 3 days, whatever, 5 days. I'm not going to disagree with that, don't get me wrong. However, I will tell you, if I need to clean a cage or I need to move a snake for any reason, I'm not going to hesitate to do it. I try not to keep them out for too long. I try not to disrupt them too much, because I want them to settle. I do not want them to regurgitate, but I'll be telling you the truth, for 20 years doing this on and off, I have never once, not one time, have I ever had a snake regurgitate on me. So there has to be a little more to that than what everybody thinks. Now again, I'm not going to tell you that, oh, you should pull them out right afterwards or the next day and play with them and whatnot. That's a little excessive. No, you should not do that. But I like to feed on Saturdays, and if I can clean beforehand on Saturdays, I will. Like yesterday, I didn't have the time. Feeding was more important. So today's Sunday, we're doing cleanup today. And you know what? They're doing fine. They're going to do fine. And you know what? I'll tell you the truth. If any of them happen to regurgitate at all, I'll come out here and tell you that I was wrong for doing it because they regurgitated. Matter of fact, I might even just do a video later today and tomorrow just to show you inside the tanks. So you'll see there's no regurgitation. Now again, I'm not trying to be, big bad like I know it all, because I know I don't. And I'm not saying it can't happen. But what I am saying is, in the wild, they will have to move on their own, of course. But they will have to get somewhere. They might have to move out of the enclosure, the hole they were in. And I'm sure they don't just regurgitate on the wild for no reason. So a little bit of moving around, I think, is okay. Then again, they did eat yesterday at about maybe 1 o'clock. It is currently like 9 a.m. here today. So it's been 20 hours, 18, 20 hours. They've had some time to get in their belly. They've had overnight. So that's probably some of the key as well. Anyways, back to this. Clean out Okay guys, so the tub is clean. It has got water in the bottom, which is fine because, as we know from the past, the Reptile Prime bedding is going to soak all that up. Now, I did notice, unlike with the fine bedding, this stuff, you don't need to really get it wet. I think if you're looking to make it kind of wet and thick and mushy, the thick stuff's probably not what you want to go with. You want to use the fine stuff for that. But this thick stuff right here is really great. I think actually probably the best for ball pythons. And I'll show you guys why. As you know, I have sand boas also. They like to burrow. And that fine stuff is great because you get it wet and it gets kind of thick and I don't want to say congealed, but you know it'll hold its shape. So sand boas can go in there, they can root around. And if it's thick enough bed, it'll leave a little tunnel for them. This stuff is more like a, you know, it's more like open husk. It's a little more hairy. Like the coconut fiber is really there, which I think is good for the pythons because they don't need to burrow by any means, but they do need some kind of, in my opinion, some kind of substance to lay on, and it'll be good for, I think it's going to be good for when shedding time comes. It's a little thicker, so to give them something to rub across while they're moving throughout the cage. That's just my opinion. Now, again, I think you use less with this stuff than you use with the finer bedding. I mean, I think that makes more sense, obviously, but this goes a long way. I do still spray it down, and remember last time I poured it in, I don't like to make it that wet in here, but I do want to get a little bit of moisture into that bedding right off the bat. So I will basically wet it down until it changes color, and I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, now when we saw last time how much water, I poured a lot of water in that fine bedding. I didn't use a lot of water, obviously. There's a lot of sprays, but not a lot of water for now. So if you can see this, the difference in the color there, nice and rich and dark here. This is light still and airy. So that's how I like to do it. I like to get it nice and thick and dark like that. And it takes a little bit of spraying, but I don't really necessarily want it to get deep down inside because I want to keep the humidity, you know, 60s, 70s. I don't like to keep it too high for these guys. I know some people say humidity should be 80 and above, but I think that's too much for ball pythons. So, give that a spritz. Make sure my vents are clear over here. Okay. I do want to answer a question. I've had many people contact me about these dividers, asking where I got them. I'll be honest with you. These ones came with this rack system that I bought. However, if you're looking for them, I'm building another rack system for myself. I will be offering these rack systems for sale as well. So if you're interested in your own personal rack or these dividers for your rack, contact me and I can give you a price. What I will need from you is the dimensions of your bins, because these bins do, you know, they come down on an angle. I'll need the length, or I should say width, at the top and at the bottom of the bin, and then I'll need the length front to back from the center of the bin. That way I can give you an accurate quote on how much the dividers will be. They're not going to be super expensive. However, if you get them with the racks we're going to build, they'll be, you know, you can get them with or without dividers basically. So it'll be cheaper that way. Alright, well that's done. I'm going to get the water dishes back in here and get the snakes back in and put them back in their rack. If anybody's noticing, I did get new cups. These are great. I got these from Lowe's. They are basically just PVC cups or caps. This one is, let me see, 2-inch. It doesn't say, but I believe these are 2-inch, if I remember correctly. They're just a solid cap, but they're quite heavy, so they don't get flipped over easily like the other ones do. So. Let's put a rock in there. Another rock. And we'll get the snakes. First one up is what we call poo. Basically, is just our normal ball python. I know you guys have seen him before. He's a beauty. He's a little feisty guy, and he ate yesterday. Let's get him back in here. And next one is our pastel female, who also ate a lot yesterday. So we're going to put her back in really quick. We'll get them back in the rack, get them warmed up. Alright guys, we're going to take a break in the action there. That video was starting to get pretty long. So check back in a day or two and I'll post up the second part of that video. But I do want to appreciate you guys for watching the first section of the video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and notifications. You know, the regular things. On top of that, I did want to just go over one thing. I know the audio was pretty quiet. It was pretty poor. Jamie was in bed that morning. I probably should have waited till a little later in the day, but I wanted to be respectful to her. So I apologize for my speech being quite low. But hopefully you guys definitely got what you needed out of that part of the video. The second section will be a little more in, I believe it's a little more in depth. Or at least we do go back into filling another bin. We do the sand boas next. And then we'll be able to compare because I ran out of the fine bedding, which I'll explain in the next video. So thanks again, guys. And just look for part 2.